Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the DevDiaries. We haven't done one of these in a long while. Got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. I've been working a lot on Alpha 7. Alpha 7.4 is out right now, so you can see that we've been busy. We redid the whole resource and the harvester system, changing a little bit the way the map is created, adding a bunch of features, new events, tripled them, and made them a lot more interesting. Of course, I need your feedback. Apparently, I've been a little bit too cruel for some of them. So, wanted to discuss a little bit what is going on for Alpha 8 that is around the corner. I think that in, let's say 2 weeks, it should be ready for the experimental branch, more testing, more feedback, and another week. So let's see, today, yeah, I'd say this month you guys can enjoy Alpha 8. Let's discuss what it's about. So, first thing, important thing is the network. A lot of you have had issues with trade routes. Basically, there's a lot of clicking. It's a little bit unintuitive, cannot do the grab something, get it back. It's awkward, to say the least. So instead of trying to fix it, it was, I think, better to just destroy it and start again. And that is where the network comes in. The idea is that normally, absolutely every single game out there, when it does distributions, basically it pushes the products. You say where to grab it and where to send it. We're doing the opposite. It's based on requests. So every single hardware warehouse is connected to buildings. As you guys know, the automated warehouse detects everything in its radius. But now, if you put logistical buildings like train depot, truck depot, boats, whatever, it will be connected to it and will be synced with all the others via the network. So let's say you have a bunch of warehouses connected all over the map, and in their radius they have all truck depots and a few have train stations. The train stations can connect to each other. So the idea is that on each warehouse, you make a request. Say, for example, you got the map filled with a bunch of production clusters and you want all the radios to be in one warehouse. Up until now, and in most games, what you do is you go and send all the radios individually into one specific distribution center. Then you make the order to send it there. Makes a lot of sense. You kind of micro the distribution. Makes sense. Okay. I think it should be the other way around. So what you do in the destination warehouse, you say, this guy needs 30 radios. So what it'll do is connect to all the truck depots or the train terminals of all the map and bounce off the request to all the connected warehouses and say, dude, I need radios. Anybody got radios? Then it makes a list and orders it by the cheapest. No, not the quickest, the cheapest. You can then toggle this as you prefer. And it starts automatically dispatching all the radios from all over the map into that warehouse with very few clicks. Like, it takes less to make a request than to actually dispatch something. It's very, very handy because you just select, you open the warehouse panel, you say the product and the quantity. If you don't choose the quantity, it's infinite, so every single radio in the map will be sent there automatically. It's wonderful. This is very handy if you want to also bounce stuff. Say, for example, you got a bunch of stuff and you have one centralized production facility in the middle of the map. And that is connected to a massive town that you are building. So you want to get all the tier 2 and tier 3 stuff there. You just make a bunch of requests. It will automatically get it from all over the map and send it to the shop. It's super handy. The inclusion of this will override trade routes, so trade routes will be no more. There will not be able the possibility to make a manual trade route. You grab stuff from here, go there, is unnecessary. It adds a lot of finicky awkwardness, and it's completely unnecessary. Basically, it's just to streamline the whole system and just leave this remnant from the 90s, leave it where it belongs. Trying to resurrect the genre and need to make it a little bit better. Next thing that I think a lot of you guys have had issues with is the late game. Like, what do? That's fine. I need to make a prototype. Okay, but why? What's the point? So you guys feel that there's no objectives. That is why we accelerated development on this part and added scenarios. Scenarios are basically kind of like in Theme Hospital or Theme Park or any other RCT, any other game from the 90s. They are mini missions, like prepackaged maps with a certain amount of conditions and objectives that you need to fulfill in a certain amount of time. For example, applied to this, we got the farmland scenario is basically you can only make farms and you need to make $10 million in 15 years. You cannot use factories, for example. Another one would be Waterworld, where most of the map is covered by water. You cannot use trains, you cannot use zeppelins, and you can only use boats and trucks. And you need to make 15 radios, for example. The good thing is that we are going to do a bunch, like not a lot of them, because the important stuff is that we added the scenario creator. Basically, you make your own maps however you want, with all the objectives, all the limitations and whatever, and via Steam Workshop, you share them, like any mod. Inside each mod, you can include several scenarios, so you can basically make one mega mod with a story of 5 scenarios, like scenario 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each one is built on the previous one with custom buildings. So in one mod, you can download 5 maps with custom buildings, custom music, custom whatever you want. Try to make it in the simplest form possible. Very click here, very, very simple. More stuff is the sounds. It feels, the music is fine, whatever, but there's not a lot of diversity with the sounds. So now every single building in the game has its own sound. Towns have their own ambience. If you zoom in into woods, you hear critters and wind and so on. Zoom out, you hear the wind and birds. So it's very personal now. It feels a lot more alive. If any of you played the game when it was on itch, and let's say it was last year between September and February this year, we had the bug reporter tool. Basically is a very handy panel that you open, you detect there's something wrong, you explain what happened, it will automatically generate a bug in our server and attach a screenshot, the save file, the description is super handy, so it's much quicker, so you don't need to go to Steam or Discord and make the whole diatribe of what happened and what is going on. I still personally prefer for you guys to do it on Steam. This way I can make you questions and so on, and there's a little bit of more communications between us. It's more personal, I think. So this will be in Alpha 8.0. Now, what is coming after? Immediately after, and 8.1 is a town growth. Basically, right now, towns are a little bit stupid, so they do their own stuff. You force feed them until they grow, and then you level up into tier 1, then tier 2, and so on. So what we are doing is basically towns will eventually stop growing. And they'll make a quest. Okay, basically they'll ask, hey man, we reached 200,000 population, we want to grow to tier 2. That means that we need $10 million, 30 furniture, and whatever. This way, it will provide the 4 different products that you can choose which one to provide, but the cash is necessary for them to grow. This way you create a massive attachment to that one town that you're growing, and you're really enthused about working with them. And then you can also see what shops they're going to place. So maybe you see that 3 towns are trying to grow, but you don't like the shops that they want to place, so you don't help them. You wait for another one. Or you have a stupid amount of money, you just grow all of them. It's quite simple. What is important to know is that right now towns are growing outwards. What we're going to do is every time they grow outwards a little bit and stop because they leveled up, they're going to grow upwards. So the buildings themselves are going to regrow and level up. So you're going to see denser buildings, taller buildings, and on tier 3, the maximum tier, the metropolis, you're going to see them that they're very big, as in they occupy more than 1 by 1. And this goes with all of them. Like, not only light and heavy industry will have skyscrapers, the rural towns will also have super high rank metropolis stuff. There will not be skyscrapers, but they'll kind of be like gated communities that are quite big and quite cute and so on. So yeah, this will be a lot more personal. It feels more alive. Other games don't tend to do this kind of stuff, so I find it important. Because later on in Alpha 10, I think it was, we're going to add the competitor AI with PR, marketing, and stock, and this kind of stuff. We removed the necessity for influence, so basically you cannot build near towns. Up until now you can, but you get a penalty, so just simplified. You can't build there. Simple as that. And the influence just stays stagnant forever. So the way a town likes you more is with random events or because you help them go. Simple as that. Then, of course, random requests that we are going to do all across Alpha 8. Immediately after the release of Alpha 8, we're going to work on Alpha 9, and the main feature is pollution. So, to make it short, every single building will generate pollution. Some more, some less, whatever, except farms, of course. But they will start growing, like the pollution will start extending around them. The ground heals itself and trees help with the health of the ground, but depending on the wind, the ground is going to be overly destroyed over time. If it reaches water, that will just flood the place with garbage. We added a couple of new buildings. One is a water treatment plant that basically cleanses the water, because that will severe impact the town. Ground pollution will be affecting everything. Like if it's too high and trees cannot clean it enough, trees will die. Of course, this has implications with the lumber yards, but also will slow down the rate at which the world will be healed. And of course, towns will hate you. As soon as the tiles in the towns will be polluted enough, that tile will die. And the more it dies, that population will not regrow in another spot. The town will shrink and shrink until it dies. So you can end up with an apocalyptic scenario where you basically bunched up in the center of the map, in the worst place possible, a bunch of petrochemical factories, and they completely destroy the world. It's definitely possible, and I'm really looking forward at the fact that you can do scenarios where basically all the world is polluted and you need to kind of survive just with farms, for example. So you're going to see your small farms all clustered up in the only clean place of the map, surrounded with trees, trying to contain the devastation to that one town that is still alive and still wants stuff, Mad Max style. Yeah, so pollution will be that, and immediately after going to do Alpha 10, that is traffic. So I know you guys want it. I think it's the kind of stuff that you guys want because it's fancy, or you saw it in other games that I'm not going to mention. But I don't think you guys know where you're getting into, because other games cheat by when they feel that there's a gridlock, they start teleporting all the trucks and whatnot. Here, complete gridlock, that's it. You can't move it. You completely messed it up. You need to make new roads, demolish stuff, and kind of remove the lock. Of course, good locks create pollution, and that ties with everything that I've explained. That is going to be awesome. Yeah, so basically that is it. Now going to go back in testing scenarios and the network. I'll see you guys next week because I'm super excited to have you guys test all the stuff. And yeah, so most importantly, thanks a lot for your massive support. We reached 50,000 players. Absolutely amazing. So thanks a lot, guys. And I'll see you as usual on Discord and on Steam. Take care, guys.